Hi there, Booktubers. Today I'm going to ask for a quick favour from you, and that's to help me decide whether to invest in a book or not. You don't need to have read the writer. I'll tell you who he is. It's not a moral choice. It's not like, oh, there's, worrying themes in it. It's not that at all. It's simply a question of taste. And I'm not asking you necessarily to be interested in the same things that I'm interested or have the similar taste. It's more sort of whether you've had a similar experience yourself and what decision you reached. Okay, so here's the case in hand. In December, I discovered a new author to me, American author called Jarrett Kobek, who wrote a brilliant book on Mohammed Atta, who's the ringleader of the pilots who crashed into the Twin Towers. And it's a stunning book. And I was so impressed that I went and got another book which I read in January called I Hate the Internet. It's a completely different book in style and tone and everything. It's quite an achievement. He's obviously got a very diverse ability. And it's basically a laceration of all things sort of Silicon Valley and how we've become reliant on social media and things like that. It's a fabulous book. So, I'm very keen to read everything by this guy. And his latest book is called The Future Won't Be Long. But unfortunately for me, its theme is the New York club scene of the 1980s. And if there's one thing I cannot stand, it's clubbing. I've never got into it myself. I don't like that whole being famous for being seen in the right places and, you're an important mover and shaker, not because anything's substantial to you, but because, people want you in their club rather than anybody else's club. And that's sort of my biggest sort of bugbear about this book is I love Kobek so much. What happens to my sort of consideration of him if this book turns out to be something that just doesn't engage me at all because of its theme? Is it going to sort of harm my vision that I hold up of this guy, or is he such a good writer that even a theme that doesn't engage me at all, he still makes it a great read? There's one other aspect to this dilemma I face, is that two of the characters from I Hate the Internet are the central two characters in this new book, which is kind of weird because although I loved I Hate the Internet, to me it wasn't about the characters. The characters weren't that interesting. It was more about the world of tech, Silicon Valley, the change to San Francisco, and just how we've all become sort of slaves to sort of social media and everything. And the characters were sort of, they were just a sort of a platform for him to sort of express all these interesting ideas. And now these two characters are getting another book that they're at the centre of. Now, of course, it may be again that they're not really in the starring role. The starring role is New York, and New York of the 80s, and its sort of renaissance from the terrible sort of rundown nature that it had in the 70s, and that whole club scene. But the club scene is not what I'm interested in. So unlike sort of being interested in the social media of the internet book, the sort of saving grace, if the characters aren't that engaging, is unlikely to be a saving grace for me here. And then the other thing about this book is that there was an infamous murder within the New York club scene in the 80s, and I know about that quite a lot. So if a lot of the focus is on that, it's not going to sort of teach me anything new. So this is my dilemma. So first of all, obviously, if there are any Jarrett Kobek fans who happen to be watching this, and they'll be able to tell me from the inside track whether it's worth reading or not. But I don't expect many, if any, BookTube viewers who follow me or who I sort of intersect with to be familiar with Kobek. So if you can think back to your own experiences of a book you really were in two minds. It's by an author you really, really like, but that you read the blurb and it didn't sound that interesting, or it's a theme that you particularly just doesn't engage you at all. Did you end up buying and reading it, or did you say no? I'm just going to have to pass on this one, even though it's by an author I really like. So I'm throwing it open to you. If you can advise me in the comments box, that would be great. I'm not. There's no time pressure for this. I don't have to buy the book by any time, and obviously, if I choose not to buy it, then there's absolutely no time pressure. So I'd really appreciate if you could help me out with this. Thanks very much. Till next time.